Hey YouTube, it's me, Black Cat. I'm back again for another deck profile today. And today we'll be reviewing my pure Dinosaur deck. This deck is also focused on the link summoning format, so hopefully you guys will enjoy this. And hopefully y'all will approve of my strategies with this. Alright, so first up for the deck, we have our two boss monsters. Well, one of our main boss monsters, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, one of the best boss monsters ever. During either player's main phase, you get to destroy one card on your side of the field or in your hand, and flip all your opponent's monsters in face-down defense. Also, he has the ability to attack all monsters, and for each monster that was in defense mode, he doesn't destroy him. He actually sends him to the graveyard, so that doesn't let you that prevents your opponent from activating any destruction effects. And also, he inflicts 1,000 points of damage for each monster that was in defense mode. So he's really good. Really easy to summon. All you have to do is just banish two dinosaur monsters and you can summon them that way. Next up we got one of the best new dinosaurs of the deck, Overtex Quatless, which kind of made dinosaurs a little more unfair than they were already. Because when this guy is sent to the graveyard, you get to add a double evolution pill to your hand. Also, you could recycle 5 banished monsters, shuffle them back to your main deck, and you can special summon this guy. And you can also summon them through the effect of double evolution pill as well. Also, once during either player's turn, whenever a spell or trap is activated, you get to destroy one monster on your side of the field or in your hand. By the way, it's a dinosaur type, by the way. You get to negate that spell or trap. Alright, next up we got one of my personal favorites of this deck, Soul Eating Oviraptor at 3. When this guy is normal or special summon, you get to add one dinosaur to your hand or send one dinosaur to your from your deck to the grave. So this guy can search out Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, or you can send Overtex Quatless to the graveyard to get your free evolution pill. And once per turn, you can target one dinosaur on the field and destroy it, and then you could special summon one level 4 or lower dinosaur from your graveyard. And I'll explain what the purpose of that is in just a moment. Next up, now most people don't play this, but I actually like to play it because, again, this helps me out with the link format, and it pretty much helps me out get Decode Talker on its first turn. But we play triple Sabersaurus, and I'll get to that in just a moment, like why play him. He's just a good 19k beater. Normally I would, now eventually once I get a third Megalo Smasher X, I'll definitely be playing him more than Sabersaurus because 2000's just 100 points better. But either way, as long as I have 3 normal monsters in this deck, it'll really help out the deck with one card that I have later. Next up we got triple Baby Ceratosaurus. When this card is destroyed by a card effect, you get to special summon one level 4 lower dinosaur from your deck, so it's really good. And also you could pop them through the effect of Oviraptor to get out a free monster. And also you could revive one from the graveyard, again due to Oviraptor's effect. Alright, next up we got one Giant Rex. Whenever this card gets banished, you get to special summon it, and it's not once per turn, so you can banish him. Actually, no, it is once per turn, I'm sorry. But overall, it's really good. It's just like he's a free summon. Next up, we got one Miscellaneous Source. I wish this guy was at least at 2, but he's a really good hand trap for the deck. You discard him, and during the main phases of the turn, on the turn he's sent to the graveyard, your dinosaurs generally just can't be touched by card effects. And also, you could banish himself. He banishes himself plus any number of dinosaur monsters in your graveyard. So, like, if you banish him plus 3 monsters, you get to special summon a level 4 or lower, or level 4 dinosaur from your deck, but it gets destroyed at the end of the turn. So it's also a good way to trigger off the Baby Ceratosaurus effect too, but I don't usually use it for that purpose. I actually always have something better in mind. Next up, we got Tyranno Infinity. Gets 1,000 attack points for every banished dinosaur that's out. So, really good. He really helps out a lot for the OTKs in this deck, because dinosaurs are generally an OTK-based deck. But next up, for the last of our dinosaurs, we got Jurek Alo. This guy's just really good because he's a 2-ender monster, and you can use him to bring out Trishula like real easily. And you could also bring him out through the effect of Miscellaneous Source. Alright, besides the Miscellaneous Source, we run 4 other hand traps. We got 2 Drone Lockbird, one of the best hand traps in my opinion, because whenever your opponent adds a card to your hand, you can discard it, and for the duration of the turn, he cannot activate it, or he cannot add any more cards to his hand. So it's a good way to slow down Pen Magicians, because they're all about searching. And then we also do a lot of stun on this deck, so like we try to slow them down as much as we possibly can. So that's why I decided to main deck the Ghost Reapers, which I used to have in my Trickstar deck, but no longer. Because I have plenty of room in my extra deck to use this card for, so like I'd like to devastate like certain decks like Spirals, Paleozoic Frogs. What else is there? Pen Magicians, like even Odd Eyes players tend to be a problem now, so I'm trying to get rid of like the problematic monsters. Anyway, moving on, we got Triple Lost World. This card is really good. Whenever a dinosaur monster once per turn is summoned, normal or special, you can just summon a Jurak token, which is this thing right here, to your opponent's side of the field. And as long as your opponent has that token, he cannot target monsters except that token. Now this is where things get interesting. So you play this card, you normal summon Oviraptor, right? Give him the token, use Oviraptor's effect to, pitch your Overtix Koalas. If you happen to have Miscellaneousaurs, pitch it. Then you use Oviraptor's effect to target that token, but instead of destroying the token, you can use Lost World's second effect by saving that token, and you combo off with that. Destroy a Baby Ceratosaurus from your hand or your deck, and then summon that Miscellaneousaurus back from the grave, and then you can also trigger off Baby Ceratosaurus effect to summon out another free dinosaur, in which case, that's what the purpose of the Sabersaurus is. So you have 3 monsters. Then you would link summon this to make Link Spider, bring out Proxy, and then decode on your first turn, essentially. And then, once you have enough of what you got, if you have Evolution Pill, then you're pretty much set. You can bring out your Tyranno and then start setting up your board for like all your boss monsters and all that. And it's just like, yeah, it's a really good way to like get a higher advantage against your opponent. So anyway, moving on, we got triple terraforming. Pretty essential because you need to get Lost World to your hand as quickly as you possibly can. So like that's just like it's just really good for this deck. Anyway, next up is triple fossil dig. Gotta search out your dinosaurs as quickly as you can, mainly your Oviraptor or your Miscellaneousaurs, because this helps you bring Miscellaneousaurs to your hand. It's also another good way to bring out like your Baby Ceratosaurus, stock up on them. That way, you're pretty well prepared to destroy something whenever you need to trigger off an effect. All right, moving on. We got 2 double Evolution Pill. One of the best Evolution Pill cards ever. You just need to destroy. You just need to banish 1 dinosaur or 1 non-dinosaur from your hand or your graveyard, and special summon 1 level 7 or higher dinosaur monster, ignoring its summoning conditions. So yes, you can bring out Conductor Tyranno and Quatless using this card. And it's also good because, like I said, this deck is based on link summoning. So the more you use up like your weaker link monsters like Link Spider and Proxy, you have more materials to use for double Evolution Pill. That's why I play this deck specifically as it is. All right, next up we got double Twin Twisters. Pretty good. Like you want to make sure your dinosaurs don't get hit with a bottomless trap hole or solemn warning or anything like that. So try to clear up your opponent's spell and traps as quickly as you can. Of course, you also run 1 Mystical Space Typhoon as well, just in case. I try not to. You don't want to like pitch too much to the graveyard at once, so you just want to like go a little at a time, and just be cautious towards what your opponent's up to. And then for our singles, we got Painful Decision. Since I am running 3 Sabersaurs, and if I happen to draw into one of them, I can at least use Painful Decision to get the second one out, get the other one to the graveyard, and have it ready to be summoned back through Oviraptor's effect. Because again, Link Spider, and then when Link Spider is summoned out, you get to special summon a second one for free. And then you're basically using up your materials quicker, and the more you have in the graveyard, the easier this deck runs. And that's why I like it the way it is so far. Next up, we got 1 Gold Sarcophagus, just to bring out our friend Giant Rex. Just like a good way to, like, if Giant Rex isn't in your hand, because he can be normal summon, he really can. But if you don't have him, since we're playing him at 1, you want to get him out there as quickly as you can. 1 Raigeki, and of course 1 Dark Hole. Just to clear up problematic monsters out on the board. And then finally, we only run 2 traps in this deck: Solemn Judgment, and then Solemn Warning. Can't say much more than that. It's just like Judgment's legal, so might as well take advantage of it, right? All right, moving on to our extra deck, we got 2 Link Spiders. As I already mentioned, you just use Sabersaurs for this guy. Just have it ready. That way you can Link Summon and bring up Decode on your first turn, in which case go and play 1 Proxy. And then next up we got, excuse me, sorry, one Decode Talker. You know, that's just so you can, you know, summon from your extra deck a lot more. And then going on, we have Firewall Dragon. Firewall Dragon's really good. Once per duel, generally, you could bounce back one monster, depending on however many monsters are co-linked to this card. And then, also, if a card is destroyed, you could do special summon one monster from your hand. So, it's just really good. In a way, I'm actually glad that they hit Firewall to 1 because, like, I felt like mainly World Chalice players were abusing its effect way too much. So I think that's why it's better for it to stay at 1. Alright, so moving on, we have one Synchro monster, just Trishula. Because again, Trishula is playable in this deck, so and it's really easy to bring out Trishula, it really is, so I figured why not? Why not play Trishula and just do a little banishment action to your opponent? One Baguska, just to deal with like Spirals have a hard time getting around him because everything goes into defense mode and they can't access their effects while he's in defense mode. So I'm like, it's just really good. One Volzar Doka, detach 1, negate any monster effect, and then you can destroy it. So it's really powerful. It requires 2 level 4 dinosaurs, so it's pretty easy. And then double Lagia. Lagia's the better one in my opinion. He's Solemn Judgment as well. You can negate any summon by detaching 2 Xyz material, or negate any spell or trap just by detaching 2 as well. So, really good. Alright, and then these are just extras just for that Reaper. But we have Spiral Double Helix. Totally awesome. And Absolute Dragon. And of course, I'll be adding more cards into this deck. Once I get my hands on Electromite, it'll definitely be in this extra deck as well, just so I can take out Pen Magician players. I could probably also put in ABC Dragon Buster, which is also good against, you know, ABCs, because ABCs are making a stronger comeback than ever. So, Ghost Reaper that, and ABCs are pretty much done. You know, they can't really, all they have is just monsters that just equip to each other. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I do have a small side deck, which I'll go and show you guys for right now, but it's still a work in progress. But here we have is double DD Crow. It's a good way to take out cards like Spiral Master Plan, Trickstar Reincarnation, because the fact is, this guy technically negates them because they do not come with cost. So yeah, like, and since they have to be in the graveyard to resolve the effect, DD Crow is a good way to get rid of those problematic spell traps. Next up, we got double Megalo Smasher X. Again, I'm trying to find a third one. That way I could replace my Sabersaurus with him. One Petite. And and also I need more sleeves too, so, because I'm out of these green ones. But I'm going to try to run triple Quaking Mirror Forces, and also try to get my hands on more Survival's End. Survival's End's really good for those who aren't familiar with it. Because since I'm running normal monsters in this deck, what it lets you do is destroy as many normal monsters out on the field, and you can special summon any number of level 4 or lower dinosaur monsters from your deck, but destroy them at the end of the turn. Also, you can banish the card, destroy 1 normal monster you control, and destroy 1 card on your opponent's side of the field, so it's also pretty good. Anyway, that's all I got for you for this video, so I'll catch you on the next one.